The third day of the sixth special session of the 20th Congress will now come to order. May we all rise for a moment of silent prayer. Chief Clerk, roll call.
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Palikir, Senator Coland, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Convene, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Penuelo,
Aye.
Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Orsmao, Senator Wesley, Speaker Simina.
Yes,
Mr. Speaker, 12 members are present.
we have quorum to transact business today. Reading of the journal. Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning to you and all honorable members, as well as our staff and all those who are observing our session this morning. I am happy to make a motion to dispense with the reading of the journal.
Second. It's moved and seconded that we dispense with the reading of the journal. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. We now dispense with the reading of the journal today. Next item, Chief Clerk.
Item 5, Presidential Communications. There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Keep going.
Item 6, FSM Supreme Court Communications, none. Item 7, Member Communications, none. Item 8, Departmental Communications, on receipt of numbers 20-82 through 20-83.
Sign those, Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 9, Agency or Governmental Authority Communications, none, Mr. Speaker. Item 10, State Communications, also none. Item 11, State Supreme Court Communications, none. Item 12, Municipal or Town Communications, also none, Mr. Speaker. And item 13, Foreign Government Communications, also none.
Order of the day. Item 14, Standing Committee Reports.
Mr. Speaker, we have an awaiting list number 20-45 for standing committee reports.
Point of privilege, Mr. Speaker.
State your point, Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise on a point of privilege to take the opportunity to introduce two individuals who are observing our session this morning. And let me start off with Mr. Penelet from the state of Chuuk. Let us give him a round of applause, please. And of course, a gentleman who's been observing our special and regular session all the time, a very honorable man, a person from the office of the President, the Honorable Baltasar Petrus, a constituent of mine. Thank you.
Thank you, Floor Leader Harper, for the introduction. Any further point of privilege?
Speaker.
Chairman Berman.
Thank you,
have the floor.
Speaker. Good morning to you and all members, and also all that are observing our session this morning. Speaker, just to associate myself with Floor, I would like to also recognize Salmon William and Joseph from Sagara. These are my constituents too.
Thank you, Chairman Berman. Any other point of privilege? Chairman Panuelo, you have the floor.
Yes, Speaker, Chairman Berman forgot some of his constituents, but since I'm at large, I will back it up.
Please do. Please back it up.
Yes, I'm sure he did not see Mr. or Councilman Edson Pernas, who's a new member of the Council of Soques through a special election. Let's welcome him and give him a round of applause, please. And going through the list, Speaker, let's welcome Cedere Sari, who's a pastor at the Pentecost Church, Sagare. Let's also welcome him and give him a round of applause. And of course, Asterio Takisi, our chairman of the JCRB committee, is here observing our session. Let's also welcome him and give him a round of applause. Our chief of staff, who's here, Speaker, let's welcome him. He's always punctual in these special sessions. I'm sure there's important issues from executive that he's here talking to members, and you, of course, Mr. Speaker. Let's welcome our chief of staff. And last but not the least, Nelson Kilavagan from both Kusai and POHNPEI. He's here on a special mission. Let's welcome him as well. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Chairman Banuelo, for introducing some of our good citizens and hardworking officials of our national government. Any other point of privilege?
Speaker.
Yes, I will recognize Chairman Romulo first and Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning to you all. Just to clarify that Mr. Asterio Takesi is my constituent, and so I am thanking the members for recognizing him this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Romulo. We'll have to seek legal opinion whether campaigning on the floor is allowed. Okay, Floor Leader Harbert, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's not an important thing, but I just want to say that I'm hoping that the constituents of Senator Berman are not the ones that signed on the nomination petition of my opponent.
Could be, yes. Thank you for pointing that out, Floor Leader Harbor. I am sure there will be an investigation of sort. Okay, any other point of privilege?
Mr. Speaker,
You can go on, Senator Conman.
thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I also wish to introduce one of my constituents who is also observing our session this morning, Mr. Chair Sinaka. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Oh yes, our constituent is very much welcome to observe
Speaker,
our session. Who's that?
Speaker,
Oh, Chairman Panuelo?
I'm just glad that we're in good mood introducing all our constituents and officials and friends who are observing our session, because in the CNN, as I turn on now, it says that Trump's mood takes a foul turn. He's pissed at damn near everyone, according to the CNN news that we have here. So I'm glad that we're in good mood this morning. Thank you, Speaker.
Well, Washington D.C. is thousands and thousands of miles away, so I'm not sure. I'm sure it's not infecting our mood this morning. What's going on there? All right.
Speaker.
None. Yes, Floor Leader Harbert.
Yeah, again, I would like to ask the indulgence of this Congress to recognize two other people who are on my list, just being submitted a few seconds ago. First one is Ante Joseph. Second one is Terslin Joseph. Please give them a round of applause.
Thank you, Floor Leader Harbert. If there is no further point of privilege, short recess subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Chairman Berman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. I make a motion to withdraw and place Standing Committee Report 20-101.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that Standing Committee Report number 20-101 be placed on the Standing Committee Report reports calendar for action. For Leader Harbour.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to suspend any relevant rules that may impede our action on the said report, especially the one that requires 24 hours availability of a measure before action of Congress.
It's moved and seconded that all relevant rules be suspended, in particular the rules requiring 24 waiting period for reports. Those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The relevant rules are now suspended. So let's vote on the main motion. Those in favor of placing standing committee report number 20-11 on the standing committee reports calendar for action say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Standing committee report number 20-11 is placed on the calendar for action. Chairman Perman, make your motion for adoption.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is this is a renomination. She's been serving my care board for the past few years. So her name been sent up again for us to reconsider. Basically, that's it, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Make your motion for adoption of the report.
So moved, Mr. Speaker.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt standing committee report 20-11. Discussion. If no discussion, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of standing committee report number 20-11 say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Standing committee report 20-11 is adopted by Congress. Next report,
Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Brett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, I would like to make a motion to withdraw and place 20-102. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Second.
Short recess subject to call of the chair. Congress back in session. Chairman Berman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sorry for the delay. I make a motion to withdraw the motion I just made. Thank you.
If no objection, the motion is withdrawn. So any other standing committee report, Chief Clerk?
We still have an awaiting list. As of now, there's none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item.
Item 15, special committee reports, none, Mr. Speaker.
Next item.
Item 16, assignment of measures and communications. We have a referral sheet number 20-92.
Okay, Chairman and members, review that for your planning purposes. Next item.
Item 17, unfinished business, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, item 18 is bill calendar, first bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 20-262 for second reading. CP number 20-262. It's a bill for an act to appropriate the sum of $1,200,000 from the general fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2019, for the purpose of funding public projects and social programs in the state of Chuuk and for other purposes.
Short recess subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We have that first bill, 20-262, Chairman Palikir. Motion for passage, second and final reading. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Chairman Palikir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Congress pass on second and final reading Congress Bill number 20-262.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass CP number 20-262 on second and final reading. Discussion.
Speaker.
Yes, Chairman Cullen.
No, Senator Romulo.
Oh, Senator Romulo, you guys starting to look alike, beginning to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On page 1 on the said on the floor amendment CB number 20-62, line 14,
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. I will recognize Chairman Cullen. You have an amendment?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I have a floor amendment to CP 20-262. It's been circulated to all the members. Speaker, I move to
For adoption?
adopt said report, said bill.
Amendment, yes.
It's, any second? It's moved and seconded that the offer for amendments to CB number 20-262 by Chairman Cullen be adopted. Floor Leader Arbor?
Speaker, again, I move to suspend any rule that may impede our action on the said amendment, especially the one that requires or prohibit substantial amendment on second reading.
Any second? It's moved and seconded that the relevant rules, specifically the rules prohibiting substantive amendments on second and final reading, be suspended. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Those relevant rules are now suspended. Now, discussion on the offered for amendments by Chairman Cullen. Chairman Romulo?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Motion to insert an oral amendment to the said amendment on line 14, section A, between the word solar, insert power, and slash out the panel in lieu thereof. So moved.
Okay.
So what we do is delete panel and insert power.
Solar, power, power. Okay, any second? It's moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Romulo to the floor amendment be adopted. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection.
Speaker.
Wait, we'll vote on this amendment first. Are you?
Go ahead.
Okay, those in favor of the offer for amendment by Chairman Romulo say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offer for amendments to CB 20-262 has been amended. Okay, any further discussion on the offer for amendments? Chairman Cullen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I wish to offer a floor amendment to the amendment that I made.
Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, on page 1, the letter C.
What item?
Letter C. Page 1. Number 8.
Okay.
Number 8, page 1, letter C, decrease the amount of 60,000 to 40,000 and create one letter in D and insert the amount of letter C is for solar system 20,000. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments to the floor amendment proposed to CP 20-262 be adopted. Discussion?
Speaker.
Any discussion on the offered oral amendments?
Short recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on discussion of the offered oral amendments by Chairman Cullen. If no further discussion, there's no objection. Who's that?
Mr. Speaker.
Oh, Argus, you have another floor amendment?
Yes.
Let's finish up this first. Let's adopt. Okay, those in favor of the offered oral amendments by Chairman Cullen, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. It's now amended twice. Chairman Maritos, you have the floor.
Yeah, I have a floor amendment to the amendment offered by Senator Conan.
Okay.
Item 1, page 1, between 9, 12, and 13, insert the following. Item A, FTA administrative costs, support service, 25,000. Sonar freezers, 25,000. Item B, item C, outreach program, travel needs, 25,000. Item D, community housing, halls, relocation, 25,000 in need thereof. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
It's moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Senator Aritos be adopted. Discussion, short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on discussion of the offered oral amendments by Senator Aritos. Any discussion? If none, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offered oral amendments by Senator Aritos, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments
Mr.
by
Speaker,
Aritos are adopted. It's now been amended 3 times.
Mr. Speaker,
Okay. Senator Conman, you have the floor.
thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I also have an oral amendment I wish to offer to the previous amendment already made by fellow colleagues on the said bill.
Go ahead.
Item 11, page 1 between 9, 11, and 12. Letter B, letter C, between Namanias and Chuuk State. Insert leadership in lieu thereof. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Senator Conman, you still have the floor. Restate your amendment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Again, my proposed oral amendment is on item 11, page 1 between 9, 11, and 12. C, the state contribution to Southern Namanias Chuuk State Legislature. Between Southern Namanias and Chuuk State Legislature, you include, insert delegation at the end of the Chuuk legislature. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, any second? It's moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Senator Conman be adopted. Discussion? There's no discussion. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered oral amendments by Senator Conman, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. So the offered oral amendments are adopted. Now we have the offered floor amendments.
Speaker.
20-262 as amended 4 times. Yes, Floor Leader Harbert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have no amendment to Collins' amendment. I just want to simply say on the record that I am a little bit disappointed for the fact that our delegation share is now reduced from the original amount that we agreed upon when we deliberated on the 14 million during the regular session. I have already reported to my people that they have another 200,000 to be appropriated for their need, but now it's only 100. And since we're coming to election, they might say that I'm a liar and they're not going to vote for me anymore. Thank you.
Thank you, Floor Leader Harper. Good point. Just tell them that it's coming in January. Yeah. Okay.
Speaker,
All right. Yes.
so recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on discussion of the offer for amendments as amended 4 times or so. Any further discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So we will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offer for amendments to CB number 20-262 as offered by Chairman Cullen and as amended 4 times, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offer for amendments to CB 20-262 are adopted. We now have CD 1. Any further discussion on CD 1? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. This is second and final reading. So, Chief Clerk, roll call of delegations.
State of Chuuk, Chairman Oritos. State of POHNPEI, Chairman Panuelo.
Aye.
State of Kushai, Chairman Wally. State of Yap, Chairman Figuer. Mr. Speaker, all the 4 delegations voted in favor.
For that reason, CB number 262 CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 20-263 CD2 for second reading. CP number 20-263 CD2. It's a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 20-141 by amending the title, sections 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 thereof, to de-appropriate the sum of $1,200,000 from the funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding priority infrastructure projects and other projects and programs in the state of Chuuk and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Figuer.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CB number 20-263 CT2. Discussion.
Speaker,
Wally.
Speaker.
Chairman Wally.
Hey, you have an amendment.
Short recess subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Chairman Wally, I give you the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a floor amendment I wish to offer to CP number 20-263. Copies have been circulated and included in today's package. And because of its length, I would defer reading of it and move for the adoption of the said amendment.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that the offer for amendments to CB number 20-263 offered by Chairman Wally be adopted, and because of its length, we will dispense with its reading. For Leader Arbor.
Short recess.
Short recess subject to call. Congress back in session. The relevant rules, specifically the rules prohibiting substantive amendments, are still suspended up to this point. So discussion on the offer for amendments. Any discussion? If none, if there's no objection, discussion is closed, so let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offer for amendments to CP number 20-263 by Chairman Wally, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offer for amendments to CP 20-263 are adopted. We now have CD3. Okay, any further discussion?
Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Wally, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also have a oral amendment that I wish to make to the said amendment. I just
Short recess subject to call of the chair. Congress back in session. We're still in discussion of CD3. Chairman Cullen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Item 14, the amount 2 million, Mr. Speaker.
Please reference page and line
Thank you.
number.
Page 10, item 14, the amount reduced to 1.8. Item 22, after the word furnishing slash
You mean line 22?
line
item F.
22. Line 22, after the word furnishing, put slash litigation and increase the amount from 200 to 260,000. On page 11, between item 8 and 9, create insert letter N and insert the word progress fee, and the amount would be 90,000. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Short recess subject to call of the chair. Congress back in session. Chairman Cullen, restate your
Thank you very much,
Voice
Mr.
amendment?
Speaker. We make the error on the amount. Instead of 260, insert the amount 310.
okay. Make motion to.
So move, Mr. Speaker.
It's moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Cullen be adopted. Discussion? Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the offered oral amendments by Chairman Cullen say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. We now have CD4. Any further discussion on CD4?
Mr. Speaker, I have an
Speaker
oral
Moses.
amendment I wish to make on the said bill.
Okay, proceed.
On page 10, line 4, item P, reduce the amount from 20,000 to 15,000 and add a sub-item Q that would say net multipurpose building 5,000.
The offered oral amendments by Vice Speaker Moses be adopted. The relevant rules are still suspended. So discussion. Any discussion on the offered?
Speaker.
Yes, Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have no business in POHNPEI's share, but I'm just curious what that 5,000 would do with a multi-purpose building, because I'm asking the Chinese embassy as to the multi-purpose gymnasium they've been building, and they say it costs $200,000.
Okay.
Well, this is to add to their fundraising efforts. They're continuously under construction, so it's to help them with some of their construction
It's
costs.
part of a fundraising effort. Okay. Any other discussion on the offered oral amendments? If there is no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the offered oral amendments by Vice Speaker Moses say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. We now have CD5. Any further discussion on CD5? Any questions been called for? If there's no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote by delegations. Chief Burt.
State of Chuuk, Chairman Aritos. State of POHNPEI, Chairman Panuelo.
Aye.
State of Kushai, Chairman Wali. State of Yap, Chairman Figuer. Mr. Speaker, all the 4 states voted in favor.
For that reason, CB number 20-263, CD5 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Speaker,
Chairman Permit?
May I ask that we go back up to
There's
standing
no
committee
objection.
report?
We will now go back to item 14, standing committee reports. Chairman Perman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to make a motion to withdraw and place Standing Committee Report 20-102. So move.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that standing committee report number 20-102, which is on the awaiting list, be placed on the calendar for action. Those in favor of the motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Let the record reflect that the relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. So, standing committee report number 20-102 is now placed. Chief Clerk, what's the subject?
Mr. Speaker, we have standing committee report number 20-102 on Congressional Bill number 20-158 from your Committee on Health and Social Affairs for adoption.
Okay, there you have it. Make a motion for adoption.
So move for its adoption.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt standing committee report number 20-102. Discussion.
Speaker,
Chairman Fakir?
yeah, while I applaud the effort of the chairman of JNO, I think we need not rush this. It's a thick report, the first time I've seen it, and I need to digest it before I can make I don't usually make good judgment, but till I can support the report. The subject matter is an important one. I don't think we should rush it. I have not seen, I saw the report and I have not seen any actuarial study attached to it. And this is a matter that needs careful review and not do it. I might support the measure, however, I need to make sure that I know what I'm supporting.
Okay, that's the feeling of our money men. What say you, Chairman of Health?
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the Chairman of Ways and Means. You know, among all members, he should be the one supporting this because it's going to help out. The older you get, the better earnings you'll get. But anyways, Mr. Speaker, we've done twice our hearing on this matter, and I will honor any suggestion from members. If we have to delay it, we'll delay it. And hoping that Chairman of Ways and Means or Speaker, please do report it. And if you have any questions, I'm willing to sit down with them and call the administrator, and then we go over it again. But I please ask all members to please look at the report again. It's a long one, and of course, there are 9 different amendments. I was going to go through all 9, but if that's what members want us to do, then we'll put it to rest until maybe tomorrow, or I'll defer it to tomorrow, or the end of this session, or next session in January. What do members think?
Speaker.
Well, yes, Federated Harbor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To accommodate the request from Chairman of Ways and Means, and it sounds like Senator Chairman Berman is also willing to accommodate the request, so I move to defer the bill until what day is today?
Till tomorrow, that's our...
January?
No. What I'm asking, what day is today? I'm kind of old.
Today is Thursday.
Thursday? So maybe tomorrow, yeah.
Speaker, I move that the report be deferred to Saturday's calendar.
There's a motion just been seconded to Friday, that's tomorrow, so we'll work on that first. It's a motion that's been, okay, those in favor of the motion offered by Federated Harper that this report be deferred to tomorrow's calendar, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Said report is now deferred to tomorrow's calendar for action. Next report,
Short recess.
short recess subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Chief Clerk, any more standing committee report?
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. In that case, if there is no objection, we will now go back down to the bill calendar, item 18. I will recognize Chairman Fakir first and Chairman Romulo next.
Thank you, Chairman, and I also want to thank the Chairman of J&Go for his understanding, but there's some urgent measures, and this mostly cleanup. And if any of the bills that I'm going to withdraw in his jurisdiction, I apologize, but I think in the interest of time, and time is of essence at this point, I apologize to you, Chairman. I move to withdraw the following bills on the bill calendar for act and be put on the calendar for action. Congress Bill number 20-255, Congress Bill number 20-256, and Congress Bill number 20-257. So move, Mr. Speaker.
And second, it's moved and seconded that the following bills, 20-255, 20-256, and 20-257 be withdrawn from committee and placed on the bill calendar for first reading action. Those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried, and irrelevant rules that may impede our actions up to this point are still suspended. So let's vote. Short recess. The call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Those three bills have been placed. So, Chairman Romulo.
Motion to withdraw CP number 20-266 on today's agenda.
And second, it's moved and seconded that CP number 20-266 be withdrawn and placed on the bill calendar for first reading action. Those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Said bill is now also placed on the bill calendar for action. Any other bills to be withdrawn and placed? If none, okay. First bill, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 20-255 for first reading from your committee, for first reading. CP number 20-255 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 19-85 as amended by Public Law number 19-155 by amending sections 2, 4, and 6, renumber section 7 as section 9, and by adding new sections 7 and 8 to add the role of chief negotiator of the amended Compact of Free Association with the United States of America to the responsibilities of the Joint Committee on Compact Review and Planning, or JCRP, to make other modifications with respect to the financial management of JCRP and for other purposes.
Chairman Fakir.
I move for the passage of the said bill.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CP number 20-255. Discussion.
Short recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still in discussion of CP 20-255. Vice Speaker Moses, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to you, members, and those that are observing in the gallery today. Mr. Speaker, first I would like to thank Chairman Fakir and Chairman Panuelo and yourself for the explanations given. However, to be honest, I have no idea what's going on. It's been several years now, and I have not seen a report of the review by the committee. I've checked my box ever since, and I have not, nor, because the two important key words within the JCRP is the reporting and planning. I have not seen a plan yet, and yet we're going ahead with this bill. That is my two major concerns, is the information received by Congress, because this body is the body that will make the key decisions on how we move forward. We're going to give the President and the committee the authorization to do certain things. However, some things have not been done, in my opinion. If there's a report, I never received or read it. If there's a plan I've not seen or understood, I've not seen and read so that I can understand what direction we are proposing to make. And yet, these amendments are coming into the bill. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't think I am ready to cast my vote on the bill, and I would recommend that we defer it till the next session of Congress. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Vice Speaker Moses. That is true, and that's because, but I can assure you, the JCRP did not intend these amendments to come in without thinking about those requirements like the reportings. We do have the reports. They are divided into three parts, and the first one is coming out very soon. We don't want to bring things in haste. We want to make sure that we are very deliberate in the report that we bring out, because that will be the guide to our future activities. So we try to do it as carefully as possible, and it is forthcoming. That much I can assure you. The main report for what internally we can do as a nation is coming out very soon. That much I can assure you of it. We won't come to this point by making some amendments if we do not have that kind of progress. But it's just the timing of when to put out that report. But it will be coming out very soon.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, continue.
Thank you. Well, if they are forthcoming, why don't we get the chance to read these three reports before we make any more amendments to the law, existing law?
Well, yes, that's a good question. I think these amendments are actually to also accommodate the President's objections or some concerns that is raised through different means. And so that's what we're trying to make them more engaged in the process, the executive branch, because one complaint or concern that President has concerns the membership. He wanted more balanced membership, some from executive, and that's what we're doing in here. And he wanted to have total discretion in appointing the negotiator if there's going to be one, and that we are also giving him in this. So a lot of these things are to accommodate what the President actually has indicated as his concerns or interest. Okay? Well, any other discussion? We're in session now. We're on the record. Yes,
I thought there was a motion by Vice Speaker to defer the bill.
That was his concern or something, his interest.
Motion to defer it to the next regular session.
It's moved and seconded that said bill be deferred to the next session of Congress. Those in favor of that motion say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Said bill is deferred to the next session of Congress. So next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 20-256 for first reading. CB number 20-256 is a bill for an act to amend section 1209A of Title 55 of the Code of the Federated States of Micronesia as annotated and as amended and as enacted by Public Law number 20-138 to specify reporting requirements for the administrator of the FSM Trust Fund and for other purposes.
Chairman Palikir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I move that the bill be passed on first reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CB number 20-256. Discussion? Any discussion? Okay, it seems like that's a straightforward one. There's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of members. This is first reading.
Senator Alick, Senator Aritos, Senator Palikir, Senator Coolant, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Convene, Vice Speaker Moses. Senator Ned, Senator Panuelo,
Amen.
Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Ursmal, Senator Wesley, Speaker Simina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 12 members voted for.
CB number 20-256 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 20-257 for first reading. CB number 20-257 is a bill for an act to amend section 117 of Title 52 of the Code of the Federated States of Micronesia as annotated, as amended, to exempt the Assistant Chief Clerk of Congress and the Technology Administrator from the Public Service System Act, to make a technical amendment to the title of the position of the Chief Clerk of Congress and for other purposes.
Okay.
Sorry,
Chairman Palikir.
sorry, Mr. Speaker.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on discussion of CP number 20-257.
Move for the previous question.
Second.
So motion for the previous question. If there's no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of members.
Senator Alick, Senator Aritos, Senator Palikir,
Yes.
Senator Coolant,
Yes.
Floor Leader Harper,
Leader reservation.
Floor Leader, Senator Convene,
Hey, where's?
Vice Speaker Moses,
Continue, Chief Clerk.
Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Panuelo,
Amen.
Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Ursmal, Senator Wesley, Speaker Simina,
Yes, Senator Conman is here.
Senator Convene.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 12 members voted for.
CB number 20-257 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
Speaker, point of privilege.
Yes, state your point, Chairman Panel.
Speaker, we have some visitors who have come and have joined those who are observing from the gallery. I wish on our behalf to recognize our Speaker of Kitri Isokonidi, or the Council of Kitri Municipal Government, who's here. Good friend of mine, the Honorable Jordan Artos, Jordan Artos. Can we give him a round of applause and welcome him? Others who are here are Mr. Pelanyoma, Mr. Sederopet, and Stallone Pretrick. Let's also give them a round of applause. Thank you, Speaker.
Okay, thank you very much, Chairman Panuelo, and Chairman Fakir, you have the floor.
We're still on bill calendar.
Yes, we have one more bill to go through. That's one withdrawn by Chairman Romulo.
Okay, after that, I
Yes.
have one, a very important one that I need to
Yes,
place on the
I was
bill.
going to ask you when you want to do that. Okay, short recess, subject to call of the chair. We're back in session. We will have to redo our action on CP number 20-257 in order to properly follow our procedures. So I will ask Chairman Fakir to make a motion for passage.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Congress pass on first reading Congress Bill 20-257.
And second, it's moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CP number 20-257. Discussion?
Question.
Questions been called for. If there's no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of members for first reading. Chief Clerk?
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Figuer, Senator Coland,
Yes.
Floor Leader Harper, Senator Convene, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Panuelo, Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Usmal, Senator Wali. Okay. Speaker Simina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 12 members voted in favor.
For that reason, CP number 20-257 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 20-266 for first reading. CB number 20-266 is the bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 20-125 as amended by Public Law number 20-135 by amending Section 5 thereof for the purpose of changing the use of certain funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of the state of Chuuk and for other purposes.
Chairman Fakir?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Congress pass on first reading Congress Bill number 20-266. Thank you.
Any second? It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CP number 20-266. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. Let's vote by roll call of members on first reading. Chief Clerk?
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Figuer, Senator Coland, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Convene, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Panuelo, Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Usmal, Senator Wali, Speaker Simina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 11 members voted for.
How many? 9? Oh, 11, okay. For that reason, CP number 20-266 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
Why is it 11 vote? I thought we were 12.
Because your friend went out. No problem. We know his vote. Okay. Chairman Fakir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to place Congress Bill number 20-259 on the bill calendar for action.
It's moved and seconded that CB number 20-259 be withdrawn and placed on the bill calendar for first reading action. The relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Okay, those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. That Bill 20-259 is withdrawn from committee and placed on the bill calendar for first reading action. Chairman Figure.
I move for the passage on first reading, Congress Bill 20-59.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CB number 20-259. Read the title, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, CB number 20-259, it's a bill for an act to appropriate the sum of $100,000 from the general fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2019 for the purpose of funding relief efforts in the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, or CNMI, due to damage caused by Typhoon Chuuk and for other purposes.
Okay, there you have it. Discussion. Chairman Figure, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have an oral amendment that I wish to make. May I?
You may proceed.
The proposed floor amendment that I'm offering, entitled Item 1, in the title delete 100 and insert 170,000 in lieu thereof. Item 2, page 1, line 1, delete 100 and insert 170,000 in lieu thereof. Item 3, page 1, line 10, insert 2, subsidy to the different state-owned utilities company in the FSM to be allocated in proportion of the expenses incurred by each to send linemen and other emergency personnel to the CNMI for the relief effort. That 70,000. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Second.
You're beginning to sound like this guy, Stephen, on one of those late night shows. He would quote President Trump and quote that on its
I'm learning.
Twitter. Okay. It's been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Figure be adopted. Any discussion on the... If none, there is no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offered oral amendments by Chairman Figure to CP 20-259 say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments to CB 20-259 by Chairman Figure are adopted. We now have CT1. Any further discussion on CT1?
Speaker.
Yes, Floor Leader Albert.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to ask a question relating to the 100,000. Is there a certain amount that is dedicated to our own people who are residing in Saipan? Because according to what I understand, our people there are not qualified for any typhoon assistance as they are not citizens of CNMI.
Thank you,
Chairman Figure, you want to have
Mr. Speaker. Although I stand to be corrected, but the understanding is the money is going to be given to the governor or the government of CNMI, and it's up to his discretion. Although I've heard that the governor mentioned to some of our officials that if there's such assistance, the people of the northern miners would accept it with open arms, and they will consider our citizen living in the CNMI. So maybe that the fund, though it's big for us, and I hope that we're giving it with hearts, and it's up to the governor of the CNMI to decide, and I'm not I don't think he's gonna overlook our citizens. They've been very generous to our people, and I'm sure that any other assistance that he can maneuver to benefit our citizens, he would do, because he's a very nice person, and has been our people living in the CNMI have been welcomed by this government. So I think certainly will, but that doesn't mean some of our public projects can be diverted to help our citizens. I'm thinking about that, although my constituents have not asked for any assistance. They left YAP to go there to seek proving that they can fetch for themselves in the CNMI. So maybe there will be requests coming from them to YAP delegation, but not at this point. But I think we need to give this money with hearts generously. They've been very nice to our people and accommodating our citizens living in CNMI, so as well as Guam and other U.S. possessions, territory, and states. So I think we're in partnership with the great nation on the face of the earth, and I think we need to work closely with them. Thank you.
Speaker. Thank you, Chairman Figueroa. My understanding is that the first amount that we also provided, 100,000, I think the governor of CNMI said he will dedicate that to the FSM citizens because of that reason you pointed. But I think I'll give Chairman Panuel to expand on that since he was in CNMI recently.
Yes, Speaker, thank you, and thank the floor leader. I spoke with our Consul General, Teresa Philippine, in Guam. She's leaving today, or may have left already, to Saipan to deliver the first 100,000 to the governor. I believe that that's what's happening now. And I met the governor last week, and the message he indicated was that he will set aside the money to benefit our FSM citizens. I had a meeting with him, the governor, and our honorary council, including our FSM core group, which has representatives from each of our states. And there's a core group that works with the Diego Benefande, our honorary council, and they're coordinating with the governor very closely. So that's the indication of the governor. And if it does happen, I'm sure our citizens will be informed so that they can help whatever mechanism is set up to help distribute assistance to our citizens. So that's just general information that I want to share to answer floor leader's question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. You're satisfied, floor leader, with the explanation.
Speaker.
So, Chairman Colin, then Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My concern is in regards to the disbursement of the assistance that we allocated to Saipan. And my confusion here is, it seems like that our national government just hesitate to follow up with our citizens in the CNMI in regards to the benefit. I understand that it's really looked at that our citizens is in the U.S. territory, and when the typhoon is unexpected, and our citizens has been affected, and yet we're kind of silent and never say anything about FEMA assistance. In any way, is there any welfare assistance that can assisting our citizens in the CNMI? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Cullen. I don't know the answer to that. Maybe Chairman Figueroa, you have the floor. Maybe you can also help out Chairman Cullen.
I don't have any information, but I know they benefit a lot from the generosity of the host.
Speaker.
Okay, Chairman Romo, I saw some money in your public project for people of...
Thank you. Yes, indeed, I have that was the intention of the amendment that we just passed on first reading, to give some money. But I share the same concern that our citizens are not, well, we're not sure if the money given to the governments are also given to our citizens. But my concern to earmark the money we appropriate for the typhoon reliefs to now Saipan would have an impact on us if we have to earmark it, because we will also face that same situation one way or the other, and other countries will also contribute to our recovery. And would that be okay with us if they also earmark that U.S. is giving us 100,000 and 50,000 will be to their citizens who reside in this? Well, if we're not earmarking, but the way it sounds like that we want to make sure that a portion of it would go to our citizens. So that's just my concern that it might.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman Romulo. The law does not, do that. It doesn't say it's for FSM citizens in CNMI, but that's a prerogative of the governor of CNMI, whatever he wanted to do with the money. Chairman Figuer?
I move for the previous question.
Second.
If there is no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote on CP number 20-259 CD1. Chief Clerk, roll call of members.
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Figuer, Senator Colent, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Convene, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Panuelo,
Aye.
Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Ismail, Senator Wesley, Speaker Simina. Mr. Speaker, 12 members, 44.
For that reason, CP number 20-259 CD1 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
So recess.
Short recess subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on the bill calendar.
Speaker.
Chairman Fakir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. I move to withdraw Congress Bill number 20-267 and put on the bill calendar for action.
And second, it's moved and seconded that CP number 20-267 be withdrawn from committee and placed on the bill calendar for first reading action. The relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed no. Motion carried. CP number 20-267 is withdrawn from committee and placed on the bill calendar for first reading action. Chairman Fakir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Congress pass on first reading Congress Bill 20-267.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CP number 20-267. Discussion. Any discussion? If
Question.
none, there is no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the passage. Oh, I'm sorry. Jiffer, roll call. First reading. Read the title. Then roll call.
Mr. Speaker, the title of this bill 20-267, it's an act to amend Section 9 of Public Law number 20-42 as amended by Public Laws numbers 20-54, 20-64, 20-67, 20-83, 20-94, and 20-103, and 20-122, to change the use of certain CIP line items in the fiscal year 18 Budget Act in order to provide for AIP matching funds and for other purposes.
Okay, there you have it. Since we already stopped debate, Chief Clerk, call the roll. First reading.
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Figuer, Senator Colent, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Panuelo,
Aye.
Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Ursmal, Senator Wally, Speaker Simina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 12 members voted for.
CP number 20-267 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill. Chief Clerk?
None, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, if there is no objection, we will now go down to the next item, resolution calendar, first resolution.
Speaker. Speaker.
Yes, we're on resolution calendar now.
Yes, I wish to withdraw three resolutions.
We have a resolution or two that we need to act
Okay,
on.
I'll come
in
after.
later. First resolution, Chief Clerk.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, we have CR or Functional Resolution number 20-142 for adoption from your Committee on Health and Social Affairs. CR number 20-142, City 1. It's a resolution to confirm the nomination of Dr. Elizabeth Yesi Keller to serve as a member of the FSM MyCare Board of Directors representing the state of POHNPEI.
Okay, Chairman.
So move for its adoption.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 20-142 CT1. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Debate is closed. This is confirmation resolution, and we need to vote by secret ballot. At least 10 votes are required. Okay, Chief Clerk, pass out the ballots. Short recess. Congress is back in session. Chief Clerk, announce the results.
Mr. Speaker, 12 members voted in favor.
For that reason, Congressional Resolution number 20-142 CT1 is adopted by Congress, and Dr. Elizabeth Keller is confirmed as a member of the FSM MyCare Board of Directors. Let's give her a hand. Okay, thank you very much. Next resolution.
There are none in the meantime.
Okay, Chairman Panuelo, you want to?
Yes, Speaker, I move to withdraw three resolutions. Number one, CR number 20-143, and 20-144, and 20-145 to be placed on the resolution calendar for action.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that resolutions number 143, 144, and 145 be withdrawn from committee and placed on the resolution calendar for action. Okay. The relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Those in favor of the motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Said resolutions are withdrawn from committee and placed on the resolution calendar for action. First resolution, Chief Clerk. Read the title. Short recess subject to call of the chair. Is back in session. Chairman Panuelo.
Yes, Speaker, on resolution 20-144, I move for adoption of said resolution.
Okay, it's moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 20-144. Read the title, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, functional resolution number 20-144 is a resolution to confirm the nomination of Mr. Roger Arnold to serve as a board member of the National Ocean Resource Management Authority, or NORMA, representing the state of Chuuk.
Okay. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. I believe this is just a renomination of a current member, and it's as a nomination. It will be by secret ballot, and at least 10 votes are required. Okay, Chief Clerk, hand out the ballots. Short recess. Congress is back in session. Chief Clerk, announce the results.
Mr. Speaker, 12 members voted in favor for the nominee.
For that reason, resolution number 20-144 has been adopted by Congress. Mr. Roger Arnold is confirmed to continue to serve as a board member on the NORMA. Let's give him a hand. Thank you. Next resolution.
Mr. Speaker, the next resolution is CR number 20-145 for adoption. CR number 20-145. It's a resolution to confirm the nomination of Mr. Nena M. William to serve as a board member of the National Ocean Resources Management Authority, or NORMA, representing the state of Kushai.
Okay, Chairman Panuelo.
Speaker, so move for the adoption of said resolution.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 20-145. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, I believe there is another renomination for a current member. So if there is no discussion, let's vote by secret ballot. At least 10 votes are required. Chief Clerk, pass out the ballots. Short recess. Congress is back in session. Chief Clerk, announce the result.
Mr. Speaker, 12 members voted for.
For that reason, CR number 20-145 has been adopted by Congress. Mr. Nena M. William is confirmed to continue to serve as a board member of NORMA. Let's give a round of thank you. Next.
Speaker, I just wonder what we all ate this morning that we're in good mood.
That's supposed to be secret.
I think a lot of good brain happened. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have a functional resolution number 20-143 for adoption. CR number 20-143 is a resolution to confirm the nomination of Mr. Creeley Jack to serve as a member of the National Oceanic Resource Management Authority, or NORMA, Board of Directors, representing the national government.
Okay, Chairman Panuelo.
Speaker, I so move for the passage of resolution number 20-143.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 20-143. Discussion.
Question.
Speaker.
Yes.
Yeah, just a minor
Sorry,
question. Is this another reappointment or renomination or first time?
Yes, it's a renomination. These individuals were in Guam, part of the negotiations with Taiwan and Korea, so they did pretty good. The others that are not in yet is Yap and POHNPEI, and that would be forthcoming. Their terms are still okay.
Okay. Especially with respect to the number of session, which session this is? This is sixth. Okay. Take note of that. All right. If there is no further discussion, we will now vote by secret ballot as a nomination, and we will need at least 10 votes. Okay. So, Chief Clerk, pass out the ballots. Short recess. Back in session. Announce the results. Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, 11 members voted for, 1 against, 2 excuses.
For that reason, resolution number 20-143 is adopted by Congress. It's a nomination. Mr. Creeley Jack is confirmed to continue to serve as a member of the Board of Directors of NORMA. Let's give him a hand.
Short recess, please.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on the resolution calendar. Any other resolution? If none, Let's go down to next item, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, item 20, introduction of bills and resolutions.
If you have any measure to introduce, pass them on to Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 21, miscellaneous communications when receipt of numbers 20-35 and 20-36.
Assign those, Chief Clerk. It looks like our women staff have been enjoying adventures all over the Pacific and Asia. Okay. Next item.
Item 22, miscellaneous business.
Okay. Any
Mr.
miscellaneous
Speaker,
business?
short recess.
Short recess. Subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on miscellaneous business. Any other miscellaneous business from members? If none, I just want to short recess to go off the chair. Second session. Before we start the announcements, I just want to announce to members that there is this antimicrobial resistance program from the Department of Health and Social Services. Social Affairs. They want to brief us on this new danger that's coming up. So members, if you have 1 hour tomorrow, we will get that done. And there is this e-parliament which will happen in Geneva from December 3 to 5. UNDP will be funding 1 member and 2 staff of Congress to co-attend that. I would like to know if 1 member is willing to attend. We will have some students from Millennium, 90 plus. They will be visiting and observing our session tomorrow. So Senator Ned and Chairman Panuelo should be ready to rumble. Okay. Now, announcement. Chairman Willie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No announcement from the Committee on Exam.
Okay, Chairman, Ways and Means. Vice Chairman, Climate Change, Special Committee. Senator Net. Chairman Burnett.
HSA, no announcement.
Chairman Romulo.
Thank you, Chairman. Speaker, your committee on Tianco again have called for an oversight hearing with public auditor, and I will consult with the chairman of Ways and Means. But this oversight hearing had brought to my attention as a chairman of Tianco, and knowing that it is a governmental operation that it's involved. So that's why I call for this oversight hearing. But I feel my part in consulting with the appropriate chairman.
Okay.
So again, if it's okay with the chairman of Ways and Means, the hearing is scheduled for today at 2:30.
Okay, take note, members of Tianco Committee, but please consult with Chairman Ways and Means and see what he has to say about that. Okay, Chairman Panuelo.
Speaker, your Committee on R&D is holding an oversight hearing with Norma on the issue of a special day scheme revolving fund. I invite members of the committee and other members to join tomorrow to learn more about what this proposal is about and see where it goes from there. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Panuelo. Take note, members of R&D Committee. Chairman Coonan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Special announcement from the chairman is the ceremony happening in Yap will be held in January. The date is not definite yet.
What's that again?
The fiber optic ceremony will be happening in January.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, take note, members who are interested to join that. Okay, Vice Speaker Moses. Okay, Senator Aridas, any announcement? Thank you. Senator Coleman.
No announcement, Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Okay, Floor Leader Harbert, do you have any announcement than your usual motion?
Speaker, no announcement, and since asset secretion is too much now, I move that we stand in recess and come back at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
It's moved and seconded that Congress stand in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Those in favor say yes. Opposed no. Motion carried. Congress now stands in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning.